Hello, it's Mothering Sunday here in sunny Somerset, all over England, in fact. And I have sent my family away, which is really nice. So they're having a lovely time, I hope, on their individual adventures. And I'm going to spend the day in the garden. And while I'm at it, I thought I'd make a clip about my favourite tools. And this little treasure is one of them. They're very easily available at all good garden centres. It's a really useful little knife. You can take basil cuttings, you can split things, you can saw through things, you can run it down the side of a stem if you want to increase the cellulose drinking cells. Anyway, there you go. I love a little knife like this. They come with it. They have a little, you push here and then the blade folds in and they sit really nicely in the hand. They fit really well. They're a very satisfying little tool, and mine lives in my apron pocket. I always wear an apron. Another favourite tool. Anyway, more of that in a minute. Come along, I've got plenty of tools to show you. And if you're new to the channel, you're very welcome. Please do subscribe, press the bell icon, and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming up. Obviously, like, comment, because that always helps. And if any of the tips and tricks I give you along the way are useful, you can always buy me a coffee, or better still, join my club, where 375 other people are making a community of garden-loving enthusiasts. Bon, on we go. The links to club membership and coffee buying are in the blurb to all my clips. Right, on we go. And anyone who sees my clips often knows I always wear an apron. I love my aprons. Aprons are fantastic for gardeners, flower farmers, florists, and anybody who does anything that could make their beautiful jumper dirty. I wear an apron. I don't feel dressed unless I'm wearing an apron. Useful pockets, but also I like the way I tie it round and I feel contained. I like feeling contained, but also my generally filthy hands, you can see where I wipe my hands all the time on my apron. So that's why I wear an apron and not a tool belt. If I wore a tool belt, I'd have to wash my clothes more often, whereas an apron, I only have to wash the apron, not the whole outfit. I am often to be seen carrying a mug of coffee. Look, froth, hot milk. It's Sunday morning. And I like these bone china mugs with these lovely botanical illustrations on them. And these were made by a lady called Rachel Pedder Smith, who does these lovely botanical designs. People often ask me where my sweaters come from. I have a selection of really nice I have 3 actually of these really nice sweaters. I have allowed myself 1 a year for the last 3 years. They're not cheap, but I don't have a cupboard full of sweaters. This is it. And this was my Christmas present from Fabrizio this year. So, there's always something an occasion you think, okay, I'm going to have, that's my present. And I haven't really taken it off since it was given me. And these come from a Scottish knitwear company called Aribe. I'll tag all these people in the blurb. Anyway, so tools I love. Never go anywhere without an apron. Always, I believe very strongly, wear your party clothes every day, because otherwise you'll never wear your party clothes. I do not live a very party lifestyle. So I wear my party clothes. Otherwise they'd just be full of moth holes living in the cupboard. This is a tool I love. A bale arm tray. Very useful. I am just about to get all of mine out, and because they've got holes in the bottom, they work like giant plant trays, propagating trays. So I will be in a minute getting my dahlias out, putting them in here, in these, to sprout so I can take cuttings. But also in the summer, when we have event flowers, these are brilliant for delivering because the bale arm, this is the bale arm, you can fold them over and then you can stack the trays when they're full. Apologies for the rattling. They're full of jam jars because my clients know that I'd rather have the jars back. Otherwise, the waste. Imagine if they just chuck the jars in the recycling every week. No. Anyway, my clients understand that. Tea cake. And always giving my jars back. Tea cake, come here. This tool, this is my Border Terrier Tea Cake. And her job is to keep me smiling. Just look at her expression and you can't help but smile. Yes, she doesn't like the camera very much, do you? No. Luckily for you, I can translate exactly what she's saying. In her head, she's thinking, put me down, I don't like being picked up. Put me down. Right, another tool. I love this. This is a small gold spade. I have a larger one. It comes from Niwaki. It makes me laugh that it is golden. So I have a golden spade. I'm afraid it's dirty. But I have the small one because I'm 5'2". And I work very fast and very effectively. I work faster and more effectively because I use a tool which suits my size. You do not, it does not make you big or clever because you use a large tool. It makes you efficient if you use the tool that suits your size. So I have the small gold spade. It's like a big trowel, very sharp. You can't see because of course it's filthy. It's always being used. But I'll show you the other one in a minute. So that's a very good tool. And a top tip, use a tool which suits your size. Don't use a big tool if you are the wrong size for it, because you'll hurt yourself and you'll be no use to anybody or anything, particularly your garden. Right, moving on. More tools. Where are they? Stay there. Extremely untidy studio behind me. We're at sort of peak untidiness. Any minute I'm moving into the new studio, so I haven't really been tidying up in here, and I've sort of lost interest, and as a result it looks like a bomb's hit it. Anyway, these are my Snips. Both pairs of Snips come from Niwaki. You can see that these have been dropped, and so Fabrizio has just taken the ends off them, which actually I really like, and these are very pointy, which makes them extremely useful. Anyway, I prefer, my favourite pair are the yellow handled pair. These are my best Snips. The reason you might want to use Snips if you're a flower farmer or florist is because of the spring helps you do some of the work for you. So you're less likely to suffer from RSI, repetitive strain injury. And along with the Snips comes, obviously, can't find it. This stuff's brilliant. This is camellia oil. So when I clean my Snips, and that's what I was looking for, is the cleaning rubber. But it's not put back where it belongs, and that's because Fabrizio has been cleaning and sharpening my tools. Thank you, Fabrizio. And once he's done it, he dresses everything with, or he uses while he goes, this camellia oil. Also Niwaki. Any oil will do. But I like this, you know, along with using wearing the party clothes every day, use the best things. I love the Nowaki stuff. So no, the Nowaki don't pay me, by the way, but they're nearby neighbours in Shaftesbury, so nice to use them. Anyway, there we go. Put this down. I'm just looking for other tools that are in here before we go outside. No, let's go up the field and I'll show you. I've got two other things to show you. I don't have a huge amount of tools. I am 5'2". I know tools, I like tools that work well. They balance well in my hand. They kind of counterbalance. I can use one-handed because I'm often doing something else with the other hand. So on we go. Let's go up the field. We'll take the coffee with us, shall we? And this tool is a very useful tool. My trolley. It's made by a company called The Handy, and you can order them online. If you're going to order a trolley, make sure, this is a really top tip, make sure that at the front of the trolley there's a cut out section here for the handle to lean against. That way, when you stop it and you throw the handle back, it stays. Otherwise, if you get the ones where there's no cutout, the handle hits the side and falls forward, and then you trip over it. And then there's a health and safety incident. So you want that. But also the fact that it has the front section cut out will tell you, if you're choosing online, will tell you that the sides are high enough that when you're pulling the trolley along, if you're cornering, obviously at speed, like in the Grand Prix of trolley pulling, when you're cornering and it's full of buckets, full of water, full of flowers, if the sides are too low, the trolley falls over. And that's very boring, because then all the flowers fall out and bruise. So you want a trolley with high enough sides. I could not do my job without my trolley. Now, obviously, I have a barrow, but that barrow has a solid wheel, and we got it at the builder's yard. And a barrow with a solid wheel doesn't get a puncture. Now that is worth watching the whole clip for. You may have heard the squelch. It's very wet here. We call it the swamp. So obviously I need wellies. And I love the elegance of it. Balletic beauty. But I love my Merry People boots because they make me smile. I'll pull the thing down. They come in all kinds of colours, and I happen to know that my friend Nikki at Rose and Lions in Bruton has just ordered some. They've got neoprene lining, so they're really warm, but also they come in all the colours of the rainbow. And I wear them all day, every day. So no, they're not cheap. But like my party clothes, I wear them, I get up in the morning, and actually these are my indoor ones. I shouldn't be wearing these outdoors because they're supposed to be kept mud free. I live in an old house with stone floors. It's cold. I'm too mean to put the heating on a lot. And the floors are cold. So these are great to wear indoors. So Merry People boots, highly recommend. And if you're local to Bruton, Nikki at Rose and Lions has just put in a big order. Here they are in real life. Look, aren't they great? I love them. Also, I have, I'm very strong, and I'm on my feet all day. I'm 57 in a month, so I have to keep fit. Otherwise I'll become old and frail too soon. And I believe strongly that while old age is inevitable, the chronic conditions that can be associated with it are not necessarily inevitable. So I'm warding them off by being a flower farmer and doing high kicks in my boots. Anyway, so yeah, Merry People boots and a wheelbarrow with a solid wheel, because then you don't have to waste your time mending punctures. There you go. Oh, I can't turn this thing off. I also like a square pot, because then I can fit more of them together. There's less wasted space. These are all waiting for the beds to be mulched, and then they'll be planted out tomorrow. Look at the way the lupin holds water. Clever, isn't it? It's like a little bowl. Here's my other gold spoon. And my useful barrow, and this mulch is from Dalefoot. We would need to make 16 tons of compost a year ourselves if we were to be a closed system. And I make some, but not 16 tons. So I wouldn't be without my Dalefoot compost. I've got 4 more tons arriving on Wednesday. So I'm just finishing this lot up. Enough. You don't want to watch me filling my barrow. You see why we need so much mulch? Yes. And now I'll show you my other, really almost, all my tools I'm very fond of them all, but this is a very good one. Come with me. Small rake. I'd be lost without it. Again, this is something Fabrizio's always saying, use the big rake. He's got this great big heavy rake. It's so big it's got wind braces. It's enormous, weighs a ton. This I can maneuver and manipulate one-handed. It's good for raking. It's good for spreading compost. It's good for making a line down a bed. I can even hoe with it. I very love this. Also learning English. I'm very, very fond of this piece of equipment. A tool without which I would not be. Other tools without which I would not be, a sharp trowel. I don't see the point of a rounded-ended trowel. Remember that line in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, when the Sheriff of Nottingham says, "I'll cut your heart out with a spoon," because it would hurt more. Seems to me that trying to do anything with a rounded end in a garden is simply going to hurt you and the garden more than using a nice little sharp point. There you go. So that's what I think about rounded-ended trowels, but I love a sharp, pointy one. Speaking of points, oh yes, the trusty Mattock. With this, I dig trenches, particularly for my sweet peas. Very, very useful. I break up big piles of compost. I scoop and trench. I love it. Very, very useful. My Mattock. And this hoe came years ago from, I went to visit the lovely Eastern Walled Gardens, which is just off the A1 at Grantham. If ever you are passing that way, they have a wonderful cut flower patch, grow many different kinds of sweet peas. And Ursula Chumley has made a really lovely garden out of what was left. There's a 12-acre site, which was a 12-acre walled garden after the war, and the house that went with it was knocked down because it had been, big houses after the war were very difficult to live in. Anyway, she made a lovely garden, and one day I went there and I found this. It's a double-ended hoe from Hacksnicks. Highly recommend. So Fabrizio's just driven into the yard and his tools are all noisier. The van he's in, the hedge trimmer, the ride-on mower, the selection of different kinds of zoom, what are they called? Where you cut trees down and take branches apart. Chainsaw. So he has the big manly tools. My favourite tools are the ones I can do fiddling about with, but I'm very good at it, and the fiddle makes a very attractive garden. We couldn't do it without each other, but I'm glad that he's the one with the ear defenders. Thanks very much. I'll see you soon.